There is a single resonant frequency that appears in ancient sound lore and modern curious research alike, 528 Hz. Some teachers call it a golden pivot, a pitch near the mapped center of an electromagnetic color arc that also finds a corresponding place in the musical domain. In other words, certain advocates argue that this number is one of the rare points where a sliver of visible spectrum and a slice of audible pitch briefly speak the same language, and that alignment carries distinctive effects. Over time, a mix of oral tradition, anecdote, and small experiments has clustered around a family of tones often called solfeggio frequencies, 9 core notes posited by some lineages as the original creative scale. Within that framework, 528 is treated as a heart-centered, harmonizing tone associated with coherence and repair. From a musical standpoint, it's interesting. Pair 528 with certain other intervals and listeners report pleasant resonance. Pair it with a particular dissonant interval historically labeled around 741 and people describe annoyance or stress. That observation became freighted with politics when critics pointed to modern tuning standards, the 20th century adoption of A equals 440 Hz, and suggested that shifting the reference pitch subtly changes which harmonics are emphasized. Some commentators go further and argue that institutional choices about tuning favored timbres that blunt receptive, right hemisphere modes. Others see that claim as conspiratorial. Putting aside motive, the technical fact is straightforward. A change in reference pitch changes the relationships between notes, and different tunings highlight different harmonic relationships. Beyond tuning debates, there's a separate cluster of ideas about how patterned energies, sound and light, interact with watery biological media. Water, which comprises most living tissue, responds to vibration in measurable ways. Focused acoustic fields can change fluid motion, structural resonance patterns and, in controlled lab settings, influence cellular behavior. Writers who link these threads emphasize that water is not a passive medium. It transmits and can hold patterned activity, and therefore patterned sound fields could, in principle, modulate biological processes. Other strands of the story invoke electrical engineers' metaphors. Tesla and numerology enthusiasts note recurring numbers like 3, 6, and 9 in natural geometries and liken DNA to a helical resonator or antenna. In that analogy, DNA is not only a chemical script but also a coil-like structure that receives and amplifies patterned fields. These metaphors are not proof, but they open a space for experimental curiosity. If cellular systems are responsive to patterned energy, carefully designed frequencies might support coherence or regulation in subtle ways. Scientists who study resonance caution that the system is complex and context-sensitive. Two tones close in frequency can produce constructive, pleasant interference or, if misaligned, prolonged dissonance that elevates stress. Think of tuning a radio while driving. A clear broadcast is enlivening. A weak, crackling signal becomes irritating if you endure it. Modern life bathes us in engineered sonic environments, public spaces, compressed popular mastering, advertising, and endless background media, and those environments train nervous systems to expect high stimulation and quick rewards. That cultural backdrop is why some practitioners encourage returning to gentler harmonic environments as a practical practice rather than an act of paranoia. Intentionally chosen soundscapes can help resensitize attention and relax defensive reactivity. Controversial demonstrations, like Masaru Emoto's images of water shaped by words and music, sparked public imagination even while their methods drew critique. The underlying question remains compelling. How do structured vibrations alter fluid matrices and, by extension, living systems? Lab studies show coherent sound fields can influence cells and fluid dynamics, but effects depend on amplitude, duration, and waveform. For listeners and practitioners, the takeaway is modest and practical. Sound matters, context matters, and you can favor audio environments that support calm, learning, and focus. Musicians, sound therapists, and biohackers who experiment with tune tracks often combine that listening with breathwork, hydration, light regulation, and gentle movement to potentiate subjective benefits. Hydration deserves a practical mention. Water is a good conductor of mechanical energy, and well-hydrated tissues couple differently with environmental rhythms than dehydrated ones do. In practice, simple experiments make the most sense. Choose a recording labeled 528 Hz or another harmonic you want to test. Sit quietly with a glass of water, listen at low volume for 15 to 20 minutes while breathing slowly, and keep a short log of mood, clarity, or bodily sensations. Avoid prolonged loud exposure. Amplitude and duration shape outcomes, and treat each listening as a data point rather than a verdict. Add supporting habits. Better sleep, less evening screen time, and short daily meditations will amplify any subtle gains you notice from tonal practice. Use modest curiosity rather than certainty. Run personal experiments, compare results, and consult peer-reviewed acoustic and biophysical research where possible. Whether you interpret 528 Hz as literal biophysics, effective ritual, or a useful focal point for attention, the actionable truth is the same: we are never neutral to sound. Choosing your sonic environment intentionally is a low-cost, reversible way to care for attention, coherence, and embodied awareness. Start small, notice carefully, and prioritize gentle, sustained exposure over frantic, loud bombardment. If this resonated and you want structured guidance, please consider supporting our work and purchase our book. Mental Mastery: Awaken the Warrior Within. It expands these teachings with guided practices, meditations, and step-by-step exercises to help you embody these states. The link is in the description below. Your support sustains this work and helps these teachings reach more seekers. Stay present, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next video.